Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is another awesome coaching call that I'm doing with an amazing student of mine who is somebody just like you, perhaps, somebody who's trying to find out what it is that their particular specialty is. What is it that they have that can help them establish themselves, position themselves in the right proper niche, whatever you want to call it, so that, just like you and I, she can flourish, she can do something she loves, make money doing it, and live the kind of life that hopefully these kinds of degrees afford. Come on back, you don't want to miss this. It's another personal branding coaching call. Hey y'all, welcome back. Thank you so much. So good to see you. How's it going? I hope you're doing really, really well. So I'm going to bring in Stephanie, who is awesome enough to share her story with us so that I can, share how I can help her, and hopefully it'll motivate and inspire you. So without further ado, let's just bring Stephanie in. Stephanie, come on in. How are you?
Hi, nice to see you again.
Good to see you. So let me get a little bit of background. Tell me exactly what you kind of needed help with and what's happening, and give me a little bit of backstory first.
Well, as you know, I was your student, and yeah, your class was fun. And I'm not just saying it just to be nice. I really enjoyed your class.
I appreciate that.
Well, a little bit of background is I love writing. I've been doing it since high school, and I've been wanting to be an author. So I thought, okay, by going to the Art Institute, I would be able to get a job in that field in the film writing department. And well, like I said, just long story short, it didn't turn out. The school did not help me find any kind of work, and since then I have not been able to find anything. I mean, I've the longest job I've had was just a content editor for a small independent company, which I don't know if I can say their name, but
it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I was there only for 2 weeks because it was just weird. Because first they hired a lot of people, roughly about 60 people, and then 2 weeks later they let them all go because I guess money issues. That's what happened.
Was this during this COVID crisis?
No, this was like about. In fact, it's actually going to be like a year today.
Okay.
When I actually lost that.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Yeah, and I just want to say really quickly, especially to everybody who's watching this right now, is that Stephanie was a phenomenal student and super creative. And I remember we talked about filmmaking. We talked about some of our favorite filmmakers. And so I know that you've got that creative artistry, and you're somebody who could be a valuable asset for a lot of companies. And by the way, I just want to say this too. This is a very common problem. That's why I go crazy and rant and rave about these universities. As I don't know if a lot of people, you might not even know this, Stephanie, but the whole reason that I started my YouTube channel was because I was sick and tired of having students come up to me and say, Professor Nez, I just paid 80 grand, 100 grand for a piece of paper, and I can't get a job. This is very common because most of these institutions, I don't want to get on an education rant right now, but let me tell you something. Most of these institutions, they're just all about getting money. The students are customers. That's it. And they don't care. They just go by what, it's very textbook and archaic methodologies that have nothing to do with the real world. So first of all, I just want to say, this is super, super special for me to be able to help you today. And this is a problem that I get a lot of people coming to me with. And so I'm real excited to help you with this. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
I know you're working right now. And what are you doing right now?
Believe it or not, because of the pandemic and how desperate I was, I am working in the assembly line.
Okay, where?
I really don't want to say the name of the company.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want to say the name of the company because I don't want to have.
What are you doing? What are you doing in the assembly line?
I'm making vessels where they're kind of like the vessels that go underground for water, as well as for your sprinkler system, and also for your water heater. Imagine
Oh, okay.
they're
Okay. So
about this,
parts.
they're about this big. Yeah, they're
Okay.
parts.
Okay.
I'm standing on my feet for 8 hours, no
Why is
riding.
that? Why is that something to be ashamed of? Why is that embarrassing?
It's not really embarrassing. It's frustrating because everything else where I've applied, though, this was all that was available. And other places that I would try to apply on, like on a career builder, on what is it, ZipRecruiter, they all say you have to have experience. And I try to explain to them, like, okay, I went to school, I did this job, and they just say it's not enough.
That's very common. That's very common. Yeah, it's not enough. Sadly, they're right. And so, okay. First of all, I think, the fact that you're honestly, Stephanie, like first of all, I feel for you. I know how hard it is. I know it sucks. You spent all that time, getting that degree, and I still think it's super valuable. I just know that it's not as valuable as 30 years, 20 years, maybe even 15 years ago. And you're going to be absolutely fine. I know it's frustrating and I know it's exhausting. And I just want to say this. What you're doing right now is you're showing everybody that, hey, I may not be doing what I love, but I'm an adult and I'm not going to ask for handouts, and I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm here to work. I'm here to be a hardworking individual who contributes to society. And so I just want to give you kudos on that. Now, in order to help you today, let me try to figure out what would be kind of like your ideal thing that you would love to be doing, something that you feel that you're good at, something that you feel that you could actually help and bring a lot of value towards an organization, company, or what have you. What does that look like? What does that job look like? What does that title look like? Tell me what that is. Have you thought about that?
A lot, especially at the job where I'm at. Well, right now, one thing is for sure that I am doing that. It's actually taken me about 5 years. Is I'm actually now getting one of my books published. Which is it's a yaoi, so
It's a
very
what?
proud of it. It's a yaoi. It's a Japanese genre that's quite popular right now.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, it's basically it has to do with the LGBT. I mean, I'm heterosexual, but I totally support the LGBT. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry.
LGBTQ.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Of
that's
course.
cool. That's awesome.
I'm sorry if I offend anybody. I did not mean to forget that.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. This isn't live. This is pre-recorded. You can offend anybody you want. I'll take it out later.
I'd rather not. But no,
I'm just kidding.
I totally like I said, I totally support it. But so right now it is just still in the process. The company that's helping me, and I'm very, very thankful for them. It's called iflowcreative.net, and they're amazing. The other thing I'm trying to get published is another story that I've actually been writing, which you kind of saw me like literally typing in your class as well as writing it. I've been doing that for 11 years, just like revising it multiple times. But just to get to the job where you had said, I guess my ideal job is, I guess, just helping out with the script writing. Like if they need someone with research, because I enjoy doing the research, the citing. A little hidden talent about me also is, I guess, I can look at an image and right there on the spot, I can come up with a story.
Ooh, that's great. That's a very valuable asset. That's a great trait.
Yeah,
So
and
you're able to, have you thought about is how would you think that you could apply that towards, like, it sounds to me, if you can look at an image and create a story, what about marketing? Have you thought about doing marketing, like helping with digital storytelling, things like that?
that part I didn't even bother to think
There's a lot
about
of
that.
money in that too. I mean, you can build yourself up. I mean, you could even do your own thing if you wanted to. If you have like a little bit of an entrepreneurial DNA in you, you could do marketing consulting. You could do consulting where something like that I do, I help, individuals and businesses with their personal brands so that, they can craft a message that helps them earn more, and grow faster and stress less. So you could, you could offer up those skills as a as something that you could do independently, or you could go work. There's tons of companies out there. How well versed are you in social media, maybe social media marketing or digital marketing?
I am I am starting to practice with the whole social media because I used to do that over there at the Art Institute when we would have events. Um, I would help out like posting stuff on the school's Facebook as well as their Twitter.
Hmm.
But as for myself though, I have to. Well, I'm still learning it on LinkedInLearning.com.
That's great. LinkedIn
So,
Learning is fantastic, and you can get certificates from LinkedIn Learning too.
hey, that I didn't know, but now that's good to know.
Yes.
In fact, I am taking notes. Very important.
No, you should. And I'm gonna send you you're obviously gonna get a link to this too. I mean, I'm gonna probably turn it into a podcast as well. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you
I
subscribe to
am.
it. Yeah. And so I mean, content writing, script writing, technical writing. What have you been doing so far to try to get that rolling and get that movie? What's your degree in again?
It was in a digital filmmaking and video production.
So I mean, those are right now, digital media and filmmaking and video production is like the hottest skill on the planet right now, especially right now. Why aren't you going out for are you trying to apply to positions like content manager, social media manager, video editor? Are you trying to apply for those jobs?
Yeah, and
And
as well, they say you don't have enough experience.
okay, but another thing that you might want to try when somebody says you don't have enough experience, okay, because you're working right now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so one of the things you can do is one of two things. When people say you don't have enough experience, then you just say, "Look, I'll what if I do this? I'll cut the salary in half, or and just hear me out here, offer to work for free for a couple months and just see if you like me. Let me show you what I can do for you." Here's the biggest thing. If you want to get a job, Stephanie,
Hmm.
if you want to get a job doing something that you love, that you can provide for yourself and your family for the rest of your life, nobody cares about you. You have to make it about them. I know that sounds kind of harsh. I know that sounds kind of cold, but you're an adult. You're old enough to hear this, and you have to hear it from somebody. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about Professor Nez until they see that Professor Nez can be an asset to them, until they see that Professor Nez can help them solve their problem. So what I'm trying to say to you is show them that you're committed. And by the way, they're going to pay you. Nobody's going to say, "Okay, work for us for free." They're going to pay you. And once they see how valuable you are and how indispensable you are, then you have leverage. And then you can go, "Well, I got to earn a living. I've got a family. I've got to support myself, and I've got bills. So, I really thank you so much for taking me on, but I'm going to have to go." Then they're going to be like, "Okay, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you." If you show how indispensable you are. I hate to say it. Yeah. Having like a liberal arts degree or a kind of art degree right now, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of value unless you're getting an art degree from an Ivy League school or a name brand. It just doesn't have a lot of value. I'm not saying it's awesome that you accomplished that. It's awesome that you achieved that. But I just have to be honest with you. You got to show them how you can solve their problem. You got to show them why they can't pass you up. And I think the best way that you can do that is if you don't want to work for free, you got to keep asking, keep applying, and don't get discouraged. And who cares about no? You got to literally go after it. Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to go after it. And you got to find innovative, creative ways. Just really quickly, a story about me, Stephanie, during the first crash, when I was just getting adjunct positions for professor gigs at universities, everybody, all my colleagues were like getting food stamps because they couldn't get jobs. But meanwhile, I was getting job after job. You know why? Because I didn't apply 100 times a week. I applied 100 times a day.
Whoa.
And I called the deans. I showed up at their offices unannounced. And they said, "Who the hell are you?" And I said, "I'm here to be your next professor." This is my resume. All I want is 39 seconds of your time. I said something weird like that just to grab their attention. 39 seconds. Because I didn't say 30 seconds. I didn't say 5 minutes. I said, I only want 39 seconds of your time. I did that for one college, Stephanie. This was 20 years ago. I did that for one college, Stephanie, and literally that 39 seconds turned into a 2.5 hour conversation and a salary and a gig and a contract. My point is this: nobody cares about you. You got to make them care about you. You got to make a splash. And you, Stephanie, with your personality and with your creativity and innovation and your skills and your presence, you have a presence about you. You need to make a splash. You need to like show up, be innovative. There was an interesting, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there was an interesting story. I think it was maybe a year and a half ago or a couple years ago. There was an interesting story about a guy who very similar position. Like they kept saying he doesn't have experience. He doesn't have experience. Or they just never even saw his resume. And then eventually, you know what he did, Stephanie, is he ordered a dozen of like the most gourmet donuts and had them sent especially to the hiring manager or to the whoever the person was, the HR director who was in charge of hiring. And inside the donut box was his resume on the bottom flap. And he wrote a little note saying, I hope you enjoy these donuts. This is my gift to you. Maybe while you're eating these delicious donuts, I would love it if you could just take a look at my resume. That's creative. That's innovative. You can't be like everybody else. You got to show that, especially if you want to do content creation, script writing, and writing is a creative craft. You got to show them. And you also got to play the numbers too. You got to play the numbers too. You got to apply, and for every 2,000 no's, you're going to get 10 yeses. That's how it goes. I guarantee you, if I asked you and you told me honestly, you looked me in the eye right now, Stephanie, if I asked you honestly, how many places have you applied to in the last 60 days? I guarantee it wouldn't be more than 10.
Well, because I'm working at that, what's called the assembly
line.
Yeah. I actually, stopped applying in January, but before January, I actually would apply daily to 30 jobs. Like this was August through the beginning of January. I had actually applied every day to like 30 jobs. And there was, like I said, nothing though. It was like, it was always thank you for applying. We got the position to someone else. I would go into interviews. Again, I wouldn't hear back from them. I even had one time I had an interview from TikTok, and obviously I was not what they were looking for, and I was in shock about that.
On TikTok?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened at TikTok? What did TikTok have to do with anything?
Well, it was a job to like watch their videos, and they also wanted to know about my personality. And because it was a phone interview, it was supposed to be a video interview, but their video camera was not working. So when they called me, though, I guess they couldn't see my personality. So I guess they just said no.
You know what you should be doing? More than anything that will help you is you need to be creating, video. If you're a video production, you want to do video editing and you want to do writing and crafting, the best thing you can do is whatever that company needs. If they need a technical writer, show them examples. You need to demonstrate. You need to do a couple of things for free, do a couple of projects for free and show them. Say, hey, I know you said I didn't have experience and you're right, but you know what? I don't want to give up because I'm very, very eager and I really want to work with you guys. So take a look at these, mail it to them, email it to them, give them a long PDF, mail them 10 examples of your best stuff, whether it be video, whether it be technical writing, whatever. And just what's the worst that can happen? They can say, get lost. So what? There's so much upside. What if just you catch somebody in the right mood on the right day? Because that's how life works. They might be like, you know what? This Stephanie showed initiative. Whatever. What the hell? Let's give her 6 months, see what happens. You never know, Stephanie. This happens every day. You got to go after it. You can't tell me, and I'm saying this with all due respect. You can't tell me that you're working. Everybody's working. You're 9 to
No,
5. You're working from what, 11 to 2 or something, or 7 to 2?
5:30 in the morning to 2.
Okay, 5:30 to 2. I get that, and it sucks. 5:30. Let's just, even if it was 5:30 to 5, it sucks. But guess what? You still have another 7, 8 hours in the day, 6 hours in the day before you go to bed. What are you doing in that time? You got to eat, I know, but
Right.
instead of just, if you really, it depends on how bad you want it. I mean, if you really want it that bad, you need to spend at least an hour and a half to 2 hours from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, busting your butt with examples, demonstrations, sending out thank you notes or cover letters or emails, or even calling them voicemail saying, hey, my name's Stephanie. I applied a couple of weeks. I never heard back from you, but I would just love it if you could give me just, a minute of your time, not more than a minute. I would just love to talk to you about my passion for why I think I'd be perfect for this role. Also,
Okay.
with your LinkedIn, Stephanie, you should be creating videos on LinkedIn talking about, looking right into the camera, talking about, why you feel that this is something that you're really passionate about. Why do you feel this is something that you're good at? And
Video editing is definitely not my passion. Well, like I said, it's just the writing and the research.
writing. Yeah. Well, you know what? You can do what's this thing called LinkedIn articles. You could actually write LinkedIn articles. And I want you to also write this down too. There's another social media blog site called Medium, where you can actually post blogs. You need to provide examples. You need to demonstrate why people can't pass you up. That's what you have to do.
Well, I have an account with Vocal Media right there. I already have several blogs posted up there. Everything.
Are you using them in like a kind of portfolio or a little
I have them in my portfolio,
media deck or something?
I didn't get the last part. I'm sorry.
Are you collecting them, and are you stockpiling them so you can deliver them to companies and organizations?
What I do is I get the
links.
I get the no, not the links though, because I don't know how to add them to my portfolio. In fact, I even tried to get the embedded code. I'm sorry, the embed code. I believe that's how you pronounce it, so that it could actually be connected to my blog. To my my website. So unfortunately, what I do is I just go to like the HTML, not the H. No, sorry, not the HTML. I'm sorry, the HTTP, which I'm seeing up here.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the link, and I just put that right there. So when they click down to blogs, it actually has a connection to my Vocal account, and the person can actually see right there all the blogs I've written. I mean, I write any random stuff, anything from an episode I saw of My Little Pony to why I feel like some films that were originally anime or they were comic books, why I feel sometimes it's best that they don't be turned into films. Like a really good example, and I'm sorry to say it, Dragon Ball Z, I love it. My husband introduced it to me. It's great, loved it, but as soon as I saw it as a live action film, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to grab the TV and just smash it because it was horrible. It was just terrible.
So, I mean, I think there's really three things that I think you need to do. Okay, you ready for this, Stephanie?
Sure.
Number one, volume is key. You need to go after it. I mean, frequency and volume. I'm going to tell you this right now. For every 100 applications, you usually get 5 callbacks. That's a 5% conversion rate. And so you got to play. And this is another thing that a lot of people, this happens. It's very natural. People get job fatigue or job search fatigue, rather. Because it's exhausting hearing no. It sucks hearing no. But guess what? I've been told no my entire life. I still get told no today. And why is it that I've built 2 multiple businesses that are doing beautifully, even during this COVID thing? Even though we've dropped some revenue percentages through the COVID thing, but the ship has been steady for me because I never give up, and I go on to the next person. I don't take no personally. You can't take no personally. You can't take you don't have experience personally. You just got to keep going, keep going. That's number one. Number two, you have to demonstrate to these people. You have to show them. Like I said, be very innovative, come up with creative ways. Do the standard protocol, which is apply and submit your whatever, your transcripts and all that hoopla. But then try some other things. Look them up on LinkedIn, send them a personal message. Dare I say, call them, show up to their office, bring a muffin and coffee and say, hey, do you have 2 minutes to have coffee with me? I got you a coffee. Who the hell are you? I'm Stephanie. I applied for this said position, and I just wanted to talk to you about it for 2 minutes, only if you had time. I don't want to bother you. Be very apologetic. Always make it about them. Number three. So number one is volume. You got to go all in on volume. Number two is innovation. You got to try different things. And then number three.
Different things.
Yeah. You gotta, because
let me close the window really quick.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's fine. Because everybody's vying for these positions, and there's probably going to be a lot of people who have more experience than you. So you're not going to win the experience argument, but you can win the innovation argument. You can't worry about things that are outside of your control. Like, you have no control over somebody else's experience and your own experience right now, because that's the past. Experience equals past. But what you have control over, and that's what you should focus on, you should only focus and worry on what you have control over, which is the process presently and the future, right? You have control over that. So you need to find unique, creative ways to get in the door.
Okay.
Like the donut example. You got to find something, right? It depends on how bad you want it. And then number three is you got to write a lot more. You got to hone your craft. I know it stinks waking up at 4 o'clock to be there at 5 and then coming home.
3.
Huh?
I wake up at 3.
I know, it's terrible. I've been there. I've had graveyard shifts. I used to work. One of my very first jobs this was not first job. I've been working since I was 7 years old as a paper boy, but they don't even have paper boys anymore. But I remember bagging groceries when I think I was 14, and I had to wake up at, I think it was 3 o'clock to get there by 4. And my shift was always 4 to 1 or 4 to 12, because I had to make sure I was there when the trucks were there, unload all the veggies and produce and present it by the time we opened up at 7. So all the people showed up. I hated that job. I hated it. But here's the thing. It depends on how bad you want it. So you got to hone your craft. You need to execute. You need to write articles on LinkedIn. You need to put yourself out there. You need to find, I've got all sorts of links to videos that will help you with this, other coaching calls too, in the description. I'll leave that in the description down below.
Give me some examples of how to do technical writing, because I've heard that, but I'm sorry, I just don't know what it is.
Oh, technical writing is like when you write, like you see all these manuals that go out when you order a crib or you order something on Amazon that you need to put together, like a desk. Somebody needs to write the manual. That's technical writing.
Ew.
It's not as I don't want to say uncreative, but for lack of a better word, it's kind of the antithesis of creative writing. Technical writing needs to really address conciseness, terseness, and understand the client and business objectives very well. It's very business writing. If technical writing isn't something you want to do, you're not going to enjoy doing that if you just do it, In other words, if you don't like technical writing, like, you getting paid to do technical writing will drive you crazy. You have to really be good at it and enjoy doing that.
So it's like content editing or copywriting.
Yeah, but I mean, copywriting is very creative. Like, copywriting is more like persuasive writing, right? Whereas technical writing is just literally like, place the screw inside the divot and then counterclockwise, and make sure that you have cautious, because that's technical writing. It's like manuals and stuff like that. Manuals, catalogs, user agreements, technical, documentation. That's what
Mm.
technical writing is.
Right.
I
Well,
don't think that you would enjoy doing that, but I mean, it's something. I mean, you can make good money being a technical writer.
true. Also, could you give me some examples of copywriting? Like, because
Yeah,
I
like copywriting would be like, let's say for example, social media, right? Like when you get an ad on social media, right?
Mhm.
Like let's say you're on Facebook and you get an ad. What's the caption? What's the description? That's copywriting.
Oh,
So for example, when somebody says, "Hey, are you feeling, sluggish? Are you feeling tired, frustrated, exhausted after work?" Well, hey, our product will help. I mean, there's an art and science to copywriting. It's literally like marketing. Copywriting is like marketing. It's persuasive writing to try to attempt to get your audience, customer, buyer, whoever to take a very specific action. Most of the time it's to buy something. So copywriting is huge, but also copywriting can be used to, you can use copywriting to market yourself, market a post, get people to click on a video. That's all copywriting. Copywriting is just essentially persuasive writing. That's what it is. Is that something that you're interested in?
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if you say that you can look at an image and create a story, well then, that's phenomenal. Like that's
I've even tried applying at Fandango, and again, they didn't take me serious. I even
okay.
wrote.
So this is the last thing that I was going to say to you, which is really important. You have a job right now, and I know it's not the ideal job, but at least you have income coming in. That's a lot that,
And it's
you
the
could say that's something that's bigger. That's actually a lot than most Americans right now, to be honest.
to be
And so
honest,
here's what oh, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, 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 you're fine. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say that yes, the job is not what I want, but I do consider it a blessing because thanks to that job, my book is actually gonna be right now. It's gonna be released in a novel form, but I'm currently writing it as a graphic novel also.
Oh,
So
dude, that's
basically,
amazing.
the novel will basically be the hype for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Are you
but
kidding me? That's freaking awesome.
yeah, and I
So
just
and
want
so
I
here's
just want
here's what I was going to say.
yeah.
Depending on how bad you want it,
Mhm.
I would seriously consider working for nothing just for a while, or at least telling them that you would work for nothing. And or just say that, like, what is the salary for this position? Let's say they say it's $50,000 a year. Say, I'll take 25. Give me 25. And if you, or do this, say, you can pay me $25,000 for the first 6 months. If you like me, keep me, give me the extra 25 after. So there's no risk for you. Boom. You got to be a
And
negotiator. You got to be your own best promoter. You got to be your own best PR person. And you cannot manufacture confidence. You got to believe in what you're doing. You got to believe in what you can bring to the table. If you don't believe in what you can bring to the table, nobody else is.
no, I understand that, but here's the thing though. Not gonna get into full detail about it, but recently, after the death of my dad, God rest his soul,
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
went through a trauma where basically I pretty much could, I guess you could say I went inside a shell because I was afraid of talking to people, afraid of approaching people. In fact, I was recommended by a friend who she's about ready to become a psychologist. She said, try doing Lyft. That'll help you help you get out of your shell. And it did help, which I
Oh
did
yeah,
thank.
that's great. That's great. I know some people who make $90,000 a year doing Uber and Lyft.
Well, I had to put it on hold because of no, I like I said, I got that job and this job is helping me with my book though, but I would still do Lyft though, just for that little extra cash, especially I mean with my other books that I want to try and get, especially the other one that I had been working for 11 years.
Yeah. Another thing too is the reason why they might not be, picking you. They could use experience as an excuse. Is your resume and your LinkedIn have to be top notch?
I haven't had a chance. I need to make time to actually.
Well, here's what I was going to say. I was going to say I'm going to leave links to the videos in the description. I have an entire resume masterclass, like from point A to Z. It's a long video, about an hour, hour and a half, but it's literally everything you need to know about how to write the perfect resume. And then number two, I've got a whole playlist on my YouTube channel, which I'll leave a link in the description, on everything you need to know about branding yourself on LinkedIn. So you need to put in that time and energy to get your resume and LinkedIn top notch. Because if you want to go for writing gigs and your LinkedIn doesn't look really well crafted and your resume doesn't look well, I mean, that's the first point of contact. That's the first thing they see.
About that, I used to be able to do graphic design. Unfortunately, because well, I don't want to say unfortunately. In fact, I love it. I fell in love with writing, and if you were to see right now how I do my graphics, you would think, okay, did you forge your signature on a copy of that says that you can do graphic design? Because I used to be really good at it, but now I look like a rookie, like basically someone that just hopped on a computer and started doing graphics, like very, very crappy stuff.
What does graphic design have to do with your resume and LinkedIn?
Because my resume is showing more that I'm more towards graphic design.
Oh, okay.
I just remembered.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, resume and LinkedIn is everything. It's everything, especially more importantly, LinkedIn, especially if you want to advance your career. Or get a job. So you need to go check out those links. I'm going to leave them in the description down below of this video, but you've got to go check out those videos because that's literally all free content that is, people package those into courses for thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm giving it away for free. So you need to go check that out. Okay. I got to take this call, Stephanie. I got to go. It's been over 30 minutes. So hopefully you found that very helpful. And I really appreciate you being here and taking the time. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay.
Sure. Want to show you one last thing. That's my relative.
Oh, very cool. Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
It's Jorge Luis Borges.
Hello, Jay. Are you there? Yeah, Jay, give me one. Jay, can I call you back in 2 minutes? Okay, I'll call you right back. Yeah, I really got to go, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
No problem. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that because I don't know if it was you that asked me if I was related to him, but I am.
Wait, Jorge Luis Borges, the famous writer? Oh, that's amazing. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. You should be pushing that. You should be going all in on that. Say, hey, I'm Jorge Luis Borges's what, niece?
I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's a family bloodline, but
that's amazing.
I don't know if I'm
you should leverage that to your you should leverage that for yourself. That's something, It
is.
If I were him, I'd be like, use my name to get a job. Why not? It's good for something.
I hope so.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you. Hey guys, I hope you really appreciated that awesome branding call with the awesome Stephanie Borges. And please make sure that you subscribe. And we've got a whole playlist, like I said, on LinkedIn branding, job search, career search, resume masterclass, ton of videos, all for free. Go check those out. We got a whole playlist on other groundbreaking coaching calls. I know you're going to love them. You definitely have to go make sure that you check those out. Thank you so much. Leave some comments down below. What are your best tips? What are your best methodologies for finding a gig, finding a writing gig or a creative content video editing type of gig? I want to hear from you. Leave the comments down below. I love you. Love you guys. I'll see you next time. Okay.